All right, let's go ahead and get started. So first couple questions here say evaluate each function. So they give us a function here, g of x equals x to the third plus minus 2x squared minus 4x plus 6. And they ask you to find g of 5. Now, there's actually two ways to do this one, to find g of 5 here. The way we originally learned how to do this is you plug in a 5 for all the x's here, and then you can type that into a calculator and be done with it, okay? So that it definitely will work. I'm not going to tell you it wouldn't work, but the other way we learned how to do this, which I actually enjoy, I like doing this, and it's a good skill for us to practice anyway, because we're going to need it on the next questions, next set of questions, is by using synthetic division, okay? So synthetic division is the one where we take all the coefficients here. So that's all the numbers in front. So that'd be like 1, -2, -4, and 6. And we leave a little space and then draw a line underneath. Is this ringing a bell? We did this a little bit. Yeah. All right. And then over here, we draw what I called the cupboard. And in the cupboard, we put whatever number is over there. So in this case, that's a 5. I got a box of them up here if you like. Oh, okay. All right. So now we the first number we just bring it down. So that's a 1. Thank you. And then every time we go back up, we multiply by whatever's in the cupboard. So multiplying by whatever's in the cupboard. So now in this one, every time I go back up, I'm gonna multiply by 5. So 1 times 5, obviously 5. All right, now I add down. So -2 plus 5, that is 3. And as I go back up, once again, I multiply by what's in the cupboard. So 3 times 5 is going to be 15. Once again, I add down here. And so -4 plus 15 would be 11. As we go back up, otra vez, we multiply by what's in the cupboard. So that's going to be 50. 11 times 5 is 55. And then we add down, and so that is 61. And so for this one, when we're asked to plug in a number, like plug in a 5, our answer should be a single number. And that single number is always whatever is the last number here, which is called the remainder. So in this case, our answer is going to be 61. So it's saying if I would have plugged in a 5 for all those x's and typed it into a calculator, the answer would have come out to 61. All right. All right, so the way this worksheet is set up is that like the two problems kind of match. So I wanted to give you guys a chance here to try out number 2. So literally same technique as we did for number 1. I'm not trying to trick you here or anything. Just want to give you time to practice. So let me wait like 2 minutes here and let you guys try out number 2, and then we'll go over it. Ready, go. Try out number 2, same idea. Little hint here, if you're stuck, what's going in the cupboard this time is actually -2. And my top row will be 2, 4, 3, and 8. All right, so let's go over it now. So I'm going to bring down the 2, never change that first number. Multiply by what's in the cupboard every time I go up. So now every time I go up, I'm going to multiply by -2. So 2 times -2 is -4. 4 plus -4 would give me 0. 0 times -2 is still 0. 3 plus 0 is 3. 3 times -2 is -6. 8 plus a -6 is a +2. So my answer here would be 2. So we always add down, except for the first one, which we just bring down. But after that, we add down and then multiply by what's in the cupboard as we move up. All right. Okay, next up, find all roots. One root has been given. All right. So for this one, they put the root, another word for a root is like a 0 or an x-intercept. So you could put AKA zeros. Means the same thing. All right, so for this one, it's a little bit of the same process, at least to start. It's going to change after this, but we're going to start off by taking this number that they give us, and we're going to put that in the cupboard, and we're going to do our synthetic division again. Now, the thing that's a little bit different about this one is that when we do this one, our remainder should be 0 every time if they're telling us that that number is a root or a 0. Okay, so let's see if it works. So I'll bring down the 1, multiply by 3, add down is 5, multiply by 3 is 15, add down is 4, multiply by 3 is 12, add down is 0. Okay. So that proves that 3 is a root, but we're actually not done yet, okay? Because what we need to do now is we need to find the rest of the roots. So how we do that is that the remainder, the leftovers here are like another expression, okay? And so how we determine the expression is based on the degrees. And so we look at this one, and since this one was the third power, it's degree 3. And that means that our leftovers drop down by a degree, so it's degree 2. So we go from degree 3 to degree 2. Degree 2 means this first term is x squared. So it's 1x squared plus 5x plus 4. So x squared plus 5x plus 4 equals 0. And what we have to do now is we have to factor it, okay? So we have to do our x thing. So I'm going to cut this off over here. We're going to do our x thing on that. And I think my battery on my pen just ran out. Yep, good. All right. So what we need to do now is we need to think of two numbers that multiply to 4 and add to 5. How did I get 4 and 5? Well, this is A times C, and this is B. From this one over here, A is 1, C is 4, so that's why I have a 4 on top, and then B is 5. So I need to think of two numbers that multiply to 4 and add to 5. Got it, Mina? 1 and 4 is absolutely correct. So we'll write those in here. All right. So then we have to rewrite this expression here. We're going to write it as x squared. And then we split up the middle term here. We split up the 5x according to these guys. So that becomes plus 1x plus 4x and then I keep the plus 4. Okay. So it's the same thing I had over here. I got x squared to start. I just split up the 5x. I split it up into plus 1x and plus 4x. And that was according to this thing up here. And then I put the plus 4 out back, okay? All right, now we do factor by grouping. So I group these two together, and I group these two together. So what can I take out of the first group? I can take out an x, and that leaves me with x plus 1. What can I take out of the second group? I can take out a positive 4, and that leaves me with x plus 1 as well. It's always good news when you do this process when you get the same thing in both parentheses, because that means you probably did it correctly. All right, and so that means we can write this as x plus 4 times x plus 1 equals 0. Okay, we're almost done. So technically from there, what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to take these two parentheses and say x plus 4 equals 0 and also x plus 1 equals 0 and solve those, okay? If you guys would like a shortcut, I'll tell you, it's kind of always the opposite of whatever number's in there, okay? So if we have x plus 4 equals 0, that means that we could say x equals negative 4. If we have x plus 1 equals 0, we could say x equals negative 1. So those are our two answers. Except there's actually one more answer. And the other answer is the answer they originally gave me, which was x equals 3. So we get 3 answers there. The original one they gave you plus the 2 that we got from factoring, okay? That's a lot. And it takes a lot of space. I should have given you guys more space for that. My bad. All right, so let's try it again on number 4. So once again here, we're going to start off by taking this negative 5. I'm going to put that in the cupboard. And then we do 1, 7, 2, and negative 40 here. All right, so let's see if you guys can do some synthetic division there. So try it out, same process we've been doing. Try it out, should be quick. All right, so I got ended up with 1, 2, -8, and 0 on the bottom row. So I just brought the 1 down, multiplied by -5. 7 plus -5 is 2, times -5. 2 plus -10 is -8, times -5 is 40, and then -40 plus 40 is 0, okay? All right, so then we started off in the third degree, so now this is in the second degree. So we have x squared, 1x squared plus 2x minus 8 equals 0. So now we need to solve that. So we need to think of two numbers that multiply to a times c, which is -8, and adds to b, which is 2. Feels like 4 and 2 to me if we make the 2 negative. You can double check it. 4 times -2 is -8. 4 plus -2 is +2. All right, so we can use that to split up that middle term. So it becomes 4x minus 2x. And then just bring down the other two terms. And now we do the grouping. First group, we take out an x, which leaves me with x plus 4. Second group, we take out a -2. And when we take out a -2, that switches the signs and turns this into positive x plus 4. So then I can write this as x minus 2 times x plus 4 equals 0. And now we're ready to answer the question. So what does x equal? X equals 2 for that one. X equals -4 for that one. Remember, it's always the opposite. And then x also equals -5. And -5 was from the original one that they gave me, okay? So they give you one and then you find two more. All right, sounds good. So let's move on now to number 5. All right, so number 5, we have multiplication here. So multiplication on these ones, the first thing you should do is everything that has like an x squared in it, you should factor, okay? So we have two things to factor here. We got to factor the bottom left and we got to factor the top right, all right? So let's do that. So let's factor the top right. So for that one, we're going to do a times c up top. So that's going to be -63. B on bottom is going to be 2. So we need to think of two numbers that multiply to -63 and add to 2. That to me sounds like 9 and 7 if I make the 7 negative. So I can rewrite this as x squared, and then I split up that middle term according to this. So I go plus 9x minus 7x and then minus 63. I do my grouping here. The first group, I take out an x, which leaves me with x plus 9. Then I take out a negative 7, which turns this into a positive x plus 9 as well. So then I know I can turn this into x minus 7 times x plus 9. Okay, so now we have to do the same thing for this one over here, the bottom left. So I have to think of two numbers that multiply to 18 and add to 11. So that sounds like 9 and 2, if I make them both positive. So we can rewrite this as x squared plus 9x plus 2x plus 18. Do our factor by grouping here. The first group, I could take out an x, leaving me with x plus 9. The second group, I'll take out a positive 2, leaving me with x plus 9. So that means I could write this as x plus 2 times x plus 9. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and rewrite that here. So on the bottom here, I have x plus 2 times x plus 9. And on the top, I got x plus 2. All right, now comes the fun part. All right, so anything that's the same parentheses on top and bottom, you can cancel out. Does not have, as long as it's multiplying in between here, which it is, it does not have to be from the same fraction, but it's okay if it is. So I can cancel out this x plus 2 with the x plus 2. I can cancel out the x plus 9 here from the with the x plus 9 there. And so what am I left with? It looks like I have x minus 7 left on top, and I have 6x squared left on bottom, and so that's it. All right. So you guys can try out number 6 now. Good news on that one. Looks like there's only one squared thing here, so you're only gonna have to do one factoring, okay? So you guys factor this one and then see if there's anything to cancel out. I'll give you guys a couple minutes here. Ready, go. All right, so this one we should start off. We factor the top left here. We factor everything that has a squared, like the m squared minus 3m minus 28. So a times c up top be negative 28. B on bottom is negative 3. So we got to think of two numbers and multiply to negative 28 and add to negative 3. So that is negative 7 and positive 4. So now I'll rewrite that top left piece, but splitting apart the middle part, negative 7m and positive 4m. So I take out the m here, leaving me with m minus 7. And then take out the 4, which also leaves me with m minus 7. So that means I can write this as m plus 4 times m minus 7. And then nothing else needs to be factored. All right, so what can we cancel out? M plus 4 can cancel out. And that is it. So we're left with m minus 7 over m plus 6. All right. Let's move on to number 7. So number 7, now the top here is a little bit different because although it does have an x squared, it's not 3 terms, it's only 2 terms. So we can't use the x thing on this one. For this one, all we do is GCF. So for this one, I'm going to take a 2x out front, and that leaves me with x minus 6. And that's all I'm going to do on top. On bottom, I got to do the x thing again. So I got to think of two numbers that multiply to a times c, which is negative 48, and add to b, which is 2. Mena? Perfect. Mena says 8 and negative 6. Correctly putting the negative on the 6, since we need to add to a positive. So we need the bigger one to be positive. But we're multiplying to a negative, so we did need one of them to be negative, but it's got to be the smaller one since we're adding to a positive, okay? Awesome. So then we'll use that to split up this middle piece here. So we're going to say x squared plus 8x minus 6x minus 48. Now we'll do our grouping here. First group, we can take out an x. This leaves me with x plus 8. The second group, we can take out a negative 6, which leaves me with x plus 8. So we have x minus 6 times x plus 8. All right, so now I'll go ahead and rewrite this. So the top is changed it to 2x times x minus 6. The bottom is changing to x minus 6 times x plus 8. So starting to notice on these ones that there's always like at least one thing that cancels, right? There's like sometimes one, I feel like, and then sometimes 2 things that cancel. So in this case, there's just one thing that cancels, the x minus 6. So we get 2x times x plus 8, and that's it. It's our answer. All right, so now let's try out number 8. I'll actually do the bottom for us here. So the bottom, we can take a 4x squared out front. Both of the big numbers can divide by 4, and then x squared is the smallest power. And that leaves me with x plus 2 on the inside. All right, why don't you guys try to factor the numerator, x squared plus 6x plus 8. So that's going to require one of the x things. All right, ready, go. All right, so we're thinking of two numbers multiply to 8 and add to 6. So that would be 4 and 2. So I'll rewrite that top there, x squared plus 4x plus 2x plus 8. Take out an x, leave me with x plus 4. Take out a 2, leave me with x plus 4. And so we get x plus 2 times x plus 4. Cancel out the x plus 2's, and you get x plus 4 over 4x